Welcome to the Full Nielsen. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Viper PST 1-4 power rifle scope with a TMCQ MOA reticle. This particular rifle scope features adjustable turrets and illumination. As I mentioned, it is 1-4 power optic, and I really like it. Cameraland right now, I believe is the name of the website where I purchased this, has these on sale for around $320. I've seen them range from $325 to $300 or so, and in my opinion there is no better optic for the money that you can put on your AR. I like mine so much that I bought 3 of them. I bought 2 for me and 1 for my brother. I tried one of them out and then I bought 2 more after I had the opportunity to play with it and use it and stuff like that. That's how much I like them, especially at that price. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, when you look at something like this Spitfire that can be had for $280 to $350, this is so much more capable at the price it's for sale right now that I would never buy one of these for what they're selling for right now. This is just a way better setup. Most of the time these are selling for $450 to $500, and even at that price difference, I still think that they are worth, in my opinion, they're worth close to double what these are worth. They're just a more capable optic. The glass is better. I just like them a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the reticle so you have an idea what you're looking at as far as the reticle is concerned. This is a blown up version of the reticle, which is zoomed in, and as you can see, the reticle features 30 MOA worth of holdover, and it also features 30 MOA worth of windage just in the reticle. Every one of these big hash marks is 10 MOA, and I believe the smaller hash marks are 2 MOA from what I remember. Now, the reticle, unfortunately, does not look like this when you're looking through the rifle scope. If you looked at this through a rifle scope, you can see it's nice and clear. You can actually see the hash marks are big enough and distinct enough that it would be really easy to tell kind of how you're holding over. This is what it's going to look like through the rifle scope. So you can see how big this is and then how kind of small the reticle is in the center. It's kind of like that, and you can still make out, at least for me, I can make out every 10 MOA, and that would be useful, but to actually hold on these other points is very difficult. So the way I would use it is I would actually say, okay, let's say for example my shot only needs 1 MOA worth of holdover. I mean, you could see that, you just hold slightly above it. Let's say for example it needs 15 MOA. Well, I can see the big marks, and so I know this is 10, I know this is 20. I'm just going to hold halfway in between and fire. That's the way I would use it. Or if I need 2.5, let's say 12.5 MOA worth of holdover, I just know I'm going to go to 10, the big marks that I can see, and hold basically a quarter of the way between that and the 20 MOA mark, and I'm on. So that's a way you can kind of get around that reticle being small the way it is. Anyway, so that's my impression about the reticle. Do I like the reticle? I do. I do wish it was easier to read or easier to tell where exactly I was holding on some of the smaller hash marks. But other than that, I really like the reticle. It is a really fine reticle, and it is, maybe I can see if I can actually get this thing to where you can see it. You can kind of see it in there. But anyway, the reticle is a really fine reticle, and I like that about it in terms of how much of the target it obscures. I'm not a fan of reticles that they take and make them to where they the dot in the center or something like that's like a 4 MOA dot, and they obscure a huge amount of your target, so that when it comes to precision shooting or shooting long distances, it makes it really difficult. This reticle doesn't have any issues that way. From what I remember, the dot in the center for the reticle is a 1 MOA dot, and all of the rest of the reticle it's a very fine reticle, so you won't have any issues doing any precision shooting, in my opinion. Now, they also, you'll notice, have these big bold marks on here, so if you were shooting, say for example, somebody came in your house and you picked up your rifle and you flipped the illumination on, you could take this thing and just use this big outer section. I mean, if they're close distance, that wouldn't be an issue at all. As long as they're anywhere within that, you could use that if you needed to at closer range. I find with the illumination, I mean, I could take that or leave that, doesn't really matter. I can see the rest of this plenty bold anyway. If I have a flashlight on and no illumination turned on the reticle, I can still see it well enough that I'd have no issue at close range. And then if you want to turn the illumination on, it makes it even more noticeable still. So from what I've experienced with this scope so far, I like the reticle. It seems to track properly, and the glass seems to be good quality, especially for the price I paid, which was around $325. And I think it is a great all-around optic. I highly recommend it. I put 1 to 4 power. Like I said, I bought a bunch of these, got rid of an Aimpoint Pro, I'm getting rid of this. I've been through some Burris optics, AR332, 536, a lot of other options in favor of this, even for home defense, all that stuff. With most of my rifles, and if you guys are looking for a rifle that will only be strictly used for home defense and that's all, you may just want a red dot. But if you are like me and you want an optic that is a good all-around optic that you can use for home defense, you can use it for hunting, you can use it for target shooting, stuff like that, 1 to 4 power optics are really hard to beat in that territory because they do all of that stuff really well. I would say, in my opinion, it's 95% as good as a red dot, assuming you're not using night vision or something like that. 95% as good as a red dot at really close ranges, and then it's better than a red dot at virtually any range beyond 50 yards. So that's why I like them. The only downside with them really is the weight, which for me hasn't been an issue, and they've been well worth whatever small amount of extra weight they have over a standard red dot. So that's my opinion on this Vortex PST with the TMCQ MOA reticle. It's an awesome optic, especially at the price that you can get them for right now. I highly recommend it. If you guys have any questions or comments about this optic, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.